was our evidence. Our parliament is dancing to the tune of the executive, both the National Assembly and the Senate. There was no reason why these proceedings could not have been postponed until Saturday. What was the hurry? When Speaker Kingi withdrew to his chambers, what were his instructions? We suspect and we believe he was told by stroke of midnight, you must be done with this man. And that is what happened. The law is clear, the rules are clear. If they had a special committee, they had 10 days. We do not have a limitation for the plenary. Why was the Senate hired to crucify this man and bury him politically? All we can suspect is that Mutuse was just a hired assassin on a mission, and that was evident throughout cross-examination. And we must thank His Excellency the Deputy President's lawyers. They brought out the truth that, and this is what Senator Wambua asked Mutuse, whose motion is this? You could tell he was not the owner of the motion. He was just a gun for hire, and through cross-examination that became very evident. But today, apart from the principle of a man not being condemned and hard, especially when he's on his back in a hospital bed, the second principle that was broken by the House, which is a fundamental principle of natural justice, is that you shall not be a judge in your own cause. The rule of bias is a very basic principle of natural justice. Both speakers of the two houses had been mentioned as shareholders, beneficiaries of an arrangement in Kenya Kwanza. They are interested parties. And one of them had, in fact, before the matter appearing before him, Speaker Wetangula, I think, was in Machakos County, when he showed his bias on a matter coming before him, he had already pronounced himself as to what should happen to Rigathi Gachagua, who was going to appear before him. Open bias was shown by the Speaker, Wetangula, Deputy Speaker, Sholei, Majority Leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, the Chief Whip, Osoro, and there couldn't have been a fair trial for Rigathi. So today we want to say this, that as a country we missed an opportunity to showcase that we have one of the best constitutions, not in Africa, in the world, the most progressive. Last night it was being tested. As a country under the rule of law, we should have respected and observed the two principles, fundamental principles of natural justice, and we let our country down. However, all is not over. As His Excellency has said, our last line of defense is the judiciary. We pray and we hope, as His Excellency's team appears before court, they will do justice. And this is what the Senate should have done. They were not politicians last night. They were jurors. They were judges. They should have been fair. They should have allowed time for Gachagua to defend himself. But this will be a basic ground upon which I believe the decision of the House can be invalidated and justice shall be done. This, we want to say thank you to our senators. Our leader in the Senate, Senator Wambua of Kitui, I think captured everything Azimio stands for. Our leader in the National Assembly, Honorable Robert Mbui, spoke for all of us as Azimio. But their counterparts in ODM spoke a different language. So today, even as we go forward, we can no longer pretend that we are like-minded On impeachment, we did say this was not a priority for Kenya. Kenyans have more serious issues. Kenyans cannot take their kids to school because of the failed new funding model in our universities. Patients are dying because when you go to hospitals now, dialysis, you are being turned away. When you have no money, you are a poor person, you are condemned to death by William Ruto and his failed policy, Adani Shah. These are issues that even as we speak, as Azimio, we have differed, not just on this impeachment, not just on joining the broad-based government. We have also differed on Adani, and yesterday we were in court led by senior counsel. Kenyans will on 22nd of October see who is really fighting for them, because we'll be back in court to continue the fight against corruption.
In open court.
In open court, we will be there on 22nd. We welcome all Kenyans to come, but the matter as it rests today rests with the judiciary. Is the last line of defense, is our only arm of government that has not been captured, and we pray to God, because between this nation and disaster is the judiciary. That is our shield and defender.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we hear Senator Kamau from Lamu.
Asante sana. His Excellency Eugine Wamalwa, kwa sababu ya kuweza kuandamana pamoja nasi. Tuko hapa katika Karen Hospital. Tumekuja hapa asubuhi ya leo kuja kuona His Excellency the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, ambaye nyote mnajua kwamba kuanzia jana aliweza kuletwa hapa akiwa mgonjwa na anaendelea kupata matibabu. Tumeweza kuongea na daktari ambaye anamhudumia na amesema kwamba bado matibabu inaendelea, na kwa sasa hawezi kuweza kuongea kwa sababu anaendelea na matibabu. Jambo nataka niseme ni kwamba jana, mnajua vile ilitendeka, ya kwamba naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa aweze kuingia katika bunge la Senate, aweze kujitetea kutokana na mashtaka ambayo alikuwa amekelewa na Mutuse, na mnajua kwamba haikuwezekana kwa naibu wa rais kuja kujitetea kwa sababu aliweza kugonjeka kabla ya yeye kuja kujitetea katika jumba letu la Senate. Nataka niseme kwamba ni jambo ambalo lilihuzunisha zaidi kuona kwamba Mheshimiwa naibu wa rais aliweza kuhukumiwa bila kusikizwa. Hilo ni jambo ambalo limeweza kushangaza sana nchi yetu ya Kenya, kwa sababu sheria inasema kwamba kila mtu ako na haki ya kusikizwa. Kama umeshtakiwa, uko na haki ya kujitetea, lakini tunaona kwamba hakupata nafasi na haki ya kujitetea. Sisi tuliweza, mawakili wake waliweza kuomba nafasi apewe mpaka kesho, siku ya Jumamosi, aweze kuja kujitetea katika lile bunge, na baada ya sisi kujaribu kuunga jambo hilo mkono halikuwezekana. Waliendelea na kazi ambayo walikuwa wameamua kufanya, na nataka niseme ya kwamba tulijaribu kwa uwezo wetu, lakini tulishindwa kwa sababu kule bunge ni numbers ambazo zinafanya kazi. Nataka niwashukuru sana wale senators wa kutoka mlengo wa Wiper Democratic Movement ambao walisimama na sisi katika hii vita ya kutetea naibu wa rais kutokana na mashtaka ambayo sisi tulipoyasoma tuliona kwamba ni mashtaka ambayo hayakuwa na mwelekeo, na walisimama na sisi na tuliweza kupambana vile tuliweza. Lakini tunasema kwamba tunaombea naibu wa rais afueni ya haraka wakati ambapo wanaendelea kupata matibabu katika hospitali ya hapa Karen Hospital, na anajua kwamba Mwenyezi Mungu ataweza kumsaidia na ataweza kutoka hospitali na ataendelea kuweza kufanya kazi yake. Mimi nataka niseme ya kwamba ni jambo ambalo ni la huzuni sana, maana mimi nawakilisha watu wa kaunti ya Lamu na waliniambia kwamba nisimame na naibu wa rais. Nilisimama na yeye mpaka mwisho kulingana na mujibu na haki ya watu wa kaunti ya Lamu. Nataka nishukuru sana watu ambao walinituma katika hili bunge la Senate kuwakilisha, na wanapotoa sauti ni wajibu wangu kama kiongozi kuona kwamba nimesimama na vile ambavyo wananchi wa kaunti ya Lamu wamenituma kufanya. Asante sana.
Asanteni. I think that's okay.
Tayari umetaja kuna brigade kama DP. Tayari kuna jina jingine ambalo limependekezwa na Rais William Ruto ambalo ni jina la kidini. Hili linatuweka wapi kama taifa na kama wakili?
Kutajwa ni one thing na kuidhinishwa ni jambo lingine. Hivi tunavyozungumza, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua is the second deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, but we shall see what happens going forward. Kilinganisha kwamba yeye tayari mawakili wake wameenda kwa mahakama na vile vile bunge pia inaendelea na hizo shughuli zingine ambazo wamezitaja. Another question? Tawashukuruni sana.
Is that he refused to support implementation of a resolution of cabinet and national government institutions. Meaning at that level, that was the understanding that it was an intergovernmental approach to clean up Nairobi River. On the question of Julian Jahenda, allow me to say this. The person who has brought Julian Jahenda in these proceedings is a deponent of an affidavit. Allow us to hold him to account on that affidavit when he comes to testify himself, because we have questions for him around this witness too. Then, finally, on the question of Treetops Hotel, there is a very clear distinction. Treetops Hotel was not acquired by the company in question from KWS. Treetops Hotel was an assignment of lease. When the Kenya government issue a lease, say 99 years, you can sell that lease. So it was an assignment of lease that was already assigned by KWS to a third party. So the construction that a company associated with the electric president, rightly or wrongly, got this property from KWS, that's very wrong. There was a completely different private property that had a lease. Then that company holding that lease assigned that lease. Thank you so much. My 2 minutes are over.
The second witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question to Mr. Mulwa. Mr. Mulwa, if you look at the response in volume 6 by the Deputy President, the Deputy President says as follows, 4.2, volume 6, which is in page 11. In response to the allegations that he called you to be able to push for the veto. He said that this is plain paragraph 4 of the witness affidavit of Andrew Mulwa. He contradicts himself by claiming that on the 11th July 2023, I pressured him to surrender the original veto, yet by the letter dated 5th of May 2023, KEMSA had requested for collections of the original bid. Thus, there was no cause for pressure to be exerted on Mr. Mulwa or any other person. Now, in your affidavit on page 70, you put an excerpt of your WhatsApp or communication between yourself and Dr. Rigathi, where Dr. Rigathi is alleged, said, Dr. Ikunu Rigathi here, kindly contact me. When possible, there is a document for a chief we are trying to collect. In the same affidavit, you have annexed 3 letters one letter dated June 30th, and I want you to keep in mind of the 30th of May. June 30th, which is a letter sent to you, from KEMSA to ESCC, requesting for the report. That is June 30th. That is a month after the date that the Deputy President alleges to have received information from KEMSA asking him to collect the report. Secondly, you have a letter dated 11th July, where you communicate to the company called Shapika Index Private Limited, asking them to collect the report. Yesterday, when you're being cross-examined, you said that you were afraid. You felt pressure when the Deputy President called you, allegedly, and asked you to surrender the report. Would you please give us a chronological events? Because this letter is dated 11th that you sent to them. You alleged that the Deputy President called you on 11th. There were 17 companies, and I know this because
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to ask Dr. Andrew Munga the following. Confirm if the Deputy President did call you. 2, kindly confirm if Shopita Impeach Private Limited, whose agent in Kenya is Crystal Kenya Limited, had demanded that one of the winner of the 3.7 billion mosquito tender before the tender. And finally, what was the issue with the bid bond that you said yesterday you were trying to go bid from EACC? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Speaker, my question is directed to Mutuse and maybe his lawyers. Yes, I'm directing it to his lawyers. Please, kindly give me my time. You are talking. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me go ahead. Thank you. One of my questions is about the speech which Honorable Mutuse said that the Deputy President addressed from Mombasa. My question is there any law preventing either the President or the Deputy President from intervening if they see any failures with the National Intelligence Services? Is there any law preventing them from intervening or questioning the National Intelligence Service, or is there any law directing them where they should ask these questions from? 2, the lady, Honorable Justice Esther Maina, has she ever made any complaint after the case was done? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to Dr. Mulwa. Dr. Mulwa, I can attest that the number you put here, through which His Excellency the President pressured you, he left the oil with me because in the days you used to talk to him, I used to use this as a number. Your evidence is so critical that we would like you to walk us through that conversation between the Deputy President and yourself, during which time he was putting pressure on you. Mr. Speaker, sir, from Masharia Council, you are a man of many years of experience, and you know the Constitution is at the apex, and all other laws are subservient. In your attempt to justify, or rather protect, and secure the Deputy President from the accusation that he breached the Constitution, Article 27, which prohibits him from discrimination, you have chosen to justify by using an act of parliament and the political act, but is act that provides for the Azimio. Tell me, are you telling me that by dint of that act, which is subservient to the Constitution, which the Deputy President violated, therefore the act sets him free? And finally, my younger brother, you have told us that for Mutuse to be able to prove that there was insubordination, he needed to bring something from the supervisor of the Deputy President, Senator Anita.